shells tonight at practice, or today at practice. We got a lot of reps. It was very physical. I told our players at the end of practice it's going to give us a lot of good information. As far as evaluation, the first 2 days, just in helmets only, you can only evaluate and see so much. But when you start getting into shoulder pads and helmets and everything, you can really evaluate guys. And I just told them they're competing every day. We did, have 3 groups. So we had a lot of reps and got a lot of good information from practice. Any questions?
You said you got 3 groups, you're talking about first, second, third team?
Yeah. We left spring with, we tried to have a 2-deep type rotation, and then those young guys, we feel like they need a lot of reps, and so we can properly evaluate them. And so a little different than normal, but it was good.
Were the quarterbacks all able to get time with that first group?
I don't believe all of them were, but I know Coach Lashley tried to rotate them at least with a different group than they've been working with. They've just been working with the younger guys, and I know that both of them rotated with older guys and trying to mix and match and see how they react.
Any separation there?
When you have a whole lot of reps and you're going quick, there's some good, but until you can really just get in the film room and see things. But like I said earlier, all positions you can evaluate them a lot better. Once you get shells on, and quarterback's no different.
What about lines of scrimmage? I know it's kind of a start with them when they put the shoulder pads on for the first time. How'd that look today?
I thought there was it was pretty physical. They were getting after it up front, and there's nothing like that first day of getting after it and getting back in the swing of things. And there was a few mistakes, but at the same time, I think for the most part we had some guys being fairly aggressive up front.
Offensive line, how's that kind of progressed? Because it looks like kind of the same group been working a little bit together some.
Yeah, and Coach Grimes is trying to rotate some guys in and give them a chance too. I think we'll have a chance to have some depth, which is always good, and we're just trying to identify who they are and where they stack up.
How does your right tackle position look like right now? I know Patrick ended the fall, but now there's more competition. Avery's back. Who's the guy right now at right tackle?
Of course, Pat left spring, in that spot, and he's still doing a solid job. Avery's a very good player, and Sean Coleman, we've been mixing and matching at right and left tackle. So I know the first day or so it looked like they were all at right, but they're also going back at left too.
Is that competition pretty wide open for the starter job on the right side?
I would say all positions are pretty wide open, until we get a week or so down the line.
Gus, is there any positions where you're maybe experimenting, moving a guy from a different place than he played in the spring?
We've got a couple of receivers that we're trying to look at, at different spots. And then some of the guys up front, like we just talked about, with the tackle. Defensively is pretty much, all intact.
You able to move anybody over to the tight end H-back today? Give them shells?
No.
How many of the receivers you said Javon knows all 4. How many of the receivers can kind of play extra spots?
The older guys, Quan Bray's been in the system for a long time. Those are the 2 guys that have been in the longest. And they understand it and they understand why, and you can put them in different positions and they can execute.
You spoke about mishaps at the quarterback spot the first day, and Josh Holte said he got a pick yesterday, I guess, of Jonathan Wallace. Any turnover issues today?
Well, I think anytime you have a lot of plays, there's always going to be turnovers when you're rotating 4 quarterbacks. So it's just a matter of, protecting the football, making good decisions. And we're trying to put these quarterbacks in a lot of different situations. And so there's a lot of plays. And, there's some good and some bad, but that's to be expected when it's that type of setting.
Gus, you talked about making the quarterback decision sooner rather than later. 3 practices in, do you still feel like you can make that decision sooner?
Well, I hope so. It's too early right now. After each practice, you try to figure out each position. If you played today, who would it be? And you gather information more and more at every position, throughout camp. But it's way too early for me to be able to stand up here and tell you that we're going to be able to make it, earlier rather than later. That's the best case scenario. That's our goal, but we're going to be for sure.
Maybe one of the few things that